Okay, yeah. Thank you, Siddharth, and especially thank you for saying those few words because that put me on a roll, you know. Because I was just wondering what I'm going to share, what I'm going to share. I mean, in the morning, I was like, even in the morning, this was coming, you know, that because there's so many stories and there's so much like abundant stories about giftivism or gift culture that it's really difficult to find, you know, which is more important and, you know, which has really moved me. So yeah, ever since I saw this invitation, I mean, and then I really started thinking of my childhood and like how I was when uh, 15 or so when my mother passed away. But before that, she was not well for some time, and my father was living in another town, so we needed some support also to take her to the doctor or where there were different people we were going to. So there were some neighbors who would regularly come each day at 7 o'clock and take her there and bring her back, you know. So Mr. Dua Saab, we used to call him. So that was one family, and then my mother passed away, and due to some reason in my house, you know, what happened was that some conflicts happening in my house. So it happened that I had to live alone in a house, you know. So it's a like a plot kind of house in Jaipur, and I was taking care of myself, supposed to be taking care of myself on my own. But then I had so many friends, you know, whose house when coming from school on cycle we would just go to somebody's house. There was this guy Chotu, you know, this friend who have not connected him for many years. He's in Canada now, and now because of this I've started thinking of all these people and his mother, and they used to have a buffalo at home and ghee and everything, and so that house would be there. Then there was this guy Alok, you know, his house would be there, and this Dua Saab's family. So all these families were there where I could just walk in, you know, and I never, I mean, so it was not an issue, you know. So like, yeah, so like today when I heard of stories of people finding it difficult in US about food, I was just wondering if people really have a tough time there, you know. I mean, it's not that, but so there was so much care and holding that was happening. So after seeing that, the invite for this gathering, it made me really clear that actually it's a myth that gift culture is not there or giftivism is not there. Actually, this world is running on that. Somehow I'm really believing that somewhere we've got this distortion, and actually mainstream is that. You know, large part of his culture, if he really took that thing out, I don't know, you know, what's going to be left. You know, it's, I mean, on its own, whatever which is running with money can't even survive. That's what I've, you know. And ever since, like I have had more consciousness about gift culture, I'm able to see even things which I was conventionally seeing as very negative, you know, like a corporate or whatever, or even business, you know, and I mean just started seeing them that these people are really making my life easy, you know, and the sad part is that their life is not easy while making my life easy, you know. So somehow maybe even that is happening, that they are going through such a difficult time, because I have friends who are in corporate worlds and who say they have heard people crying in the toilets. I mean, I'm just giving a story, but maybe if we just take, so maybe somewhere something has happened that money has really taken over, and maybe money was just a strategy for us to really, you know, to connect with each other and support each other and contribute to enrich each other's lives. But that itself has become an end. So somewhere we have lost the, you know, whatever was coming there. And yeah, so I mean, coming to this, I mean, that's what, and recently, like I've been into this non-violent communication, and Marshall Rosenberg, who says that, I think he says that, you know, I keep quoting him, you know, I keep quoting some people, you know, he says that most basic need that people have is to contribute to enrich other people's lives, you know. So that I'm really understanding that is really there, and so anybody who really, so so actually the world is moving because of that, you know, that people really want to contribute. So there were people who wanted to contribute to my enrichment when I was a kid, so I was really being supported by them. And yeah, so I mean they've been, I mean I was just talking to Nipun also, and he was saying that, you know, you can share some stories. I mean, so there are a lot of stories, so let me think what comes to me when I think about it right now. uh, yeah, like it's Yeah, my relationship with money has been very challenging, it's very difficult. So like one thing I have been doing workshops on food and NVC, and some of these workshops demand, that need that I pay something. So somewhere I had this feeling that I don't want to pay for it, out of my money. Because if I pay from my money, I would really want to get that money back. So I would always wait for, or even write to friends that, do you want to pay for it? Because if I by any chance, if I paid my money, which is not much, which I have, but if I paid that money, I might want to get it back. So, but if I know that other people have paid for it, then I already know that it's a gift, and I won't want to like take money out of when I share it with other people. So there's this friend Osama who I asked, and this other workshop on food and healing also that I was doing. And just at the time when the time for paying was coming, a friend offered me money. So somehow I was stuck with this idea of, this, yeah, it's a very challenging relationship with money, for me. And yeah, so this, one is these workshops that I was saying, and another thing that I'm especially with nonviolent communication that is opening up for me is the gift of listening. And often people see like gift culture as something to do with money and, no money or gift economy, pay as they wish. But like recently I've discovered that how just being with somebody and how listening to somebody can be a gift. And there have been stories where people are going through difficult times, and especially how with NVC I've learned how to listen in such a way that probably I'm able to go much deeper, and they're able to access, what's deeply that's happening for them. Like as what Nipun was saying in the morning, that even if somebody is boring, can you like hold that space for that person so that person can access something beautiful that's coming for that person. So there have been, so I would say I've been really, like I can just share an instance of this young boy who was going through a difficult time in a relationship, to the point that, and whenever he'd be stressed out, he would call me up. And there were times that, yeah, like he would say that I'm drunk today. So he would say so that, there might be some reaction from me or some, so I would just listen to him. So I said that you are really sad and you're really feeling alone, and this time maybe alcohol is something that is supporting you. And I would hear him and it would go on. And I was reading a book one day on NVC about somebody, anyway, I won't go into that story, but so this one day this person also called up and said that I'm really tired of this and I want to kill myself. And just one day before, I read a book in which there was a conversation, and the person who was hearing did not give any advice. He just listened to the person and what that person was going through. And I said, so you're really so sad and so down that life has lost all meaning for you? He said, yeah. And then there was silence. Then he said, yeah, I just want to like die. And then I again reflected back. I said that something that, that, yeah, that you don't see any meaning to go on with things. And in the third line, he just came and said that, but I want to live. So for me, that this thing is, that's, I'm trying to see how even like being present to other people can be a gift. So I'm trying to integrate this non-violent communication and restorative psychophysics about conflict transformation with gift culture, because I feel there's a lot of scarcity in that. So a lot of scarcity of trust sometimes. And as I was hearing, like I was reading Poncho's story, that when there is violence is stepped up, you need to step up non-violence even more. So similarly, like when mistrust is really high, then you really need to step up, this trust. So, or I would say when listening is so scarce, you can really, step up this kind of a thing, listening. So, yeah, so it's been a great journey for me, and I've been really enjoying it. That's it. Yeah. Thank you.